The Top Dasher debate dies here. Over the last 6 months, I've noticed a trend with DoorDash that I feel we need to talk about. I want to make it very clear right off the bat. Part of this video is going to be factual information from DoorDash themselves, and other parts of the video will be my personal opinion. You should certainly formulate your own opinions. A few months back, I made this video talking about the High Pay Order program. That program was supposed to run until the end of July, and at the time, was only in a small handful of markets, mine being one of the first. Fast forward to now. Not only did that program not end, but it's still being implemented in various markets to this day. That's pretty alarming to me, but we're going to get into why shortly. This video is going to focus heavily on the ability to dash now, or in this case, the inability to dash now, and the reasons that you can't. Also, in doing research for this video, I accidentally proved that Top Dasher does not give you better orders, so you know we're going to be talking about that too. What is going on, everybody? My name is Zach. I hope you are doing well. Before we get into the video, if you are new here, please do consider pressing the like and subscribe buttons so you never miss news, tips, tricks, and ride-alongs with a healthy dose of humor. DoorDash has been busy. Over the past 6 months, we've seen them implement various new pilot programs, expand markets, oversaturate those markets, and expand into new sectors. One thing we haven't seen them do, though, is increase driver compensation. These various programs pretend to financially incentivize drivers who are less experienced and therefore fall for it. There was an important word in that sentence. Pretend to financially incentivize drivers. In my opinion, a true financial incentive is something that's easily verifiable, such as peak pay. For example, if your base pay is $2.50 and there's a $3 peak pay, you should expect to see a bare minimum of $5.50 in base pay on each order. I'd like to take a look at a couple of these programs and compare them to an actual verifiable incentive. We're going to be comparing the High Pay Order program and Top Dasher. Let's start with the High Pay Order program. This program touts priority access for orders that pay at least $2 a mile. However, that is not actually what you're getting. Now, you'd have to read the fine print and speak DoorDashese. It's like Dino from Saying It Like It Is stated. DoorDash has their own dictionary. Subtly nested within the false promises is the real truth. And that truth was that they measure that $2 a mile from the restaurant to the customer only. That $2 a mile doesn't factor in your drive to the restaurant or your return trip. I saw countless offers that popped up that were less than $1 a mile when you factored in the drive to the restaurant as well. It's also worth mentioning, DoorDash does not make the claim that you are going to receive priority access to orders where the customer spent a certain dollar amount. The only claim made, albeit a false one, is that you're going to make at least $2 a mile. If we could fucking teleport, that would be a true statement, but until then, that's total bullshit. Moving past that, the High Pay Order program did not serve drivers with a higher acceptance rate better orders. These are the same orders that were getting passed around from driver to driver to driver until eventually somebody did accept the order. For my fellow geeks out there, this is nothing more than an if-else statement. If the driver's acceptance rate is greater than or equal to 50%, show graphic. Else, return. For those of you who have more of a life than I do, essentially what that means is the app would run a quick check when sending you an offer, and if your acceptance rate was at or above 50%, you would see the diamond. If not, they wouldn't show the diamond. But the driver pay would remain the same regardless of your acceptance rates. That $4.75 high pay order could have been declined by 5 drivers already with an acceptance rate below 50%, the requirement for entry into that program. Before we go any further, pause the video and let me know in the comment section if you think that there's any verifiable benefits for the driver in this program. Or could it possibly be mind games to make the drivers think that they're getting something that they're not? Keep following me on this one. I promise we're going somewhere with this. Now I'd like to take a moment to talk about Top Dasher, a program that has 5 requirements for entry. A customer rating of at least 4.7, an acceptance rate of at least 70%, a completion rate of at least 95%, 100 completed deliveries within the past month, and finally, at least 200 lifetime deliveries. Now, this next part is going to be a bombshell, and I don't want you to miss a word of this. So if you have anybody around you distracting you, kindly ask them to shut the fuck up. What are the perks of Top Dasher? The biggest one is the ability to dash now, anytime, anywhere. Being as this is the subject of the video, we're going to be doing a deep dive on that later. Dash Now in my eyes was the only perk of the Top Dasher program. But what are the other perks? You'll get priority access to orders where the customer spent $35 or more, which I kind of find ironic since DoorDash's average order value is $37. DoorDash also claimed that they would break the tie in your favor if you and a non-Top Dasher were waiting around for an order. For those of you who didn't catch it, don't feel bad, but I just spoke DoorDashese. I took a page from their dictionary and said something subtle to make you think that you're getting something that you aren't. See, I used the word claimed, past tense. You heard that right, past tense. I don't know about you, but I damn sure didn't get an email from DoorDash bragging about stripping away 2 of the benefits of the Top Dasher program. DoorDash no longer claims that being a Top Dasher gives you access to higher paying orders. Don't believe me? Here's a screenshot of the Top Dasher page on DoorDash's website. Unfortunately, I've seen certain gig tubers use Photoshop a little too freely, so as always, the link to that article will be in the description. I highly encourage you to check it out for yourself. Now, to recap what you just heard, DoorDash themselves no longer claims that being a Top Dasher gives you access to higher paying orders. We're talking about the company known for making grandiose bullshit claims. If they're not claiming it, it ain't fucking happening. The Top Dasher debate dies here. Don't forget, people, those of us on YouTube can turn on the camera and present only what we want you to see. Be careful where you get your information. So to recap, we took a look at 2 of DoorDash's most popular programs and the perks that they offer, or in this case, the lack thereof. I'd like to take a moment to compare these 2 programs, from the good to the bad to the outright janky fuckery. I'd like to start with the similarities first. Both of these programs require what I believe to be a high acceptance rate and DMV level customer service. Both of these programs masquerade as being financially beneficial for the driver, when in actuality, neither one of them have any verifiable financial benefit. Let's be really fucking real about it. Both of these programs were designed to get shitty orders delivered, not to compensate us better. That's pretty much it for the similarities. Now the differences. One of them actually does give you a verifiable benefit in the form of Dash Now. Knowing now that DoorDash no longer makes the claim that Top Dasher gives you better orders, I can stomach the program a little easier. At the time of filming this video, I believe that DoorDash is being completely transparent with the Top Dasher program and what the driver is actually getting. A rare win for DoorDash. Don't get me wrong, I still feel like Top Dasher is a horrible decision for the vast majority of drivers out there, unless of course you're in a tiny market or you're in an extremely oversaturated market. Personally, I think you're better off scheduling and multi-apping. This brings us to Dash Now, the one feature that makes otherwise rational drivers make poor decisions. I have friends that did try the Top Dasher program, so I mean them or anyone else, no disrespect whatsoever. Now that DoorDash has made it clear that Top Dashers are pulling from the same pool of orders that non-Top Dashers are, I'm very well aware that not every order that they accept will be shitty, but the climb to get there. Hell Week. Something that only Navy SEALs should endure, not delivery drivers. On their quest for Top Dasher, many drivers have to accept a slew of horrible orders, rack up miles on their car, and in many cases make less than they would have had they been cherry picking to begin with. And all for what? I've gotten many comments from Dashers all over the country lately, many of which are in major markets, telling me that they're going for Top Dasher. Not for the ability to dash now, but because they've been lied to and they think they're going to get better orders. To drill this home, that is no longer a listed benefit of the Top Dasher program. The ability to dash now is the only perk to an otherwise pointless program. I want to take a moment to give you some statistics on DoorDash that will make sense here in a little bit. As of March 2022, DoorDash enjoys a 59% market share in the food delivery space in the United States. As of 2021, DoorDash also has 25 million monthly active users in more than 4,000 American cities. It's in DoorDash's interest to oversaturate markets. Although it's a horrible move for us, in their perfect world, they'd have a Dasher waiting outside every restaurant, eager to accept their next no-tip order. With oversaturation in mind, you would think it would be a wise move for them to allow us to dash now whenever and wherever we wanted. I'd like to turn your attention back to the various programs that DoorDash has launched in the past. What similarities do these programs usually share? Almost all of them require a ridiculously high acceptance rate. Now, why is that? I'm sure you know the answer to it, but we're going to come back to it in just a moment. Over this past week, I recorded every DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub order that was sent to me. DoorDash had an average order value of $6.23. Weird number, I know. Grubhub had an average order value of $7.02. In the interest of transparency, I did receive significantly fewer Grubhub offers, so please do take that one with a grain of salt. Last, we have Uber Eats. They had an average order value of $8.47. Not surprisingly, DoorDash had the highest quantity of orders. But also not surprisingly, they were also the least paying. I'd like to take a quick look at how you obtain hours on these apps. Let's start with Grubhub. There is a section to schedule, but you can also go online whenever you want. Now, I realize scheduling will give you priority to the orders, but you can go online when you choose to. What about Uber Eats? I searched the app high and low, but the only option I found was go. I feel like fucking Dr. Seuss. What about DoorDash? Unless you're a brand new driver, You know how they do it. They're the only one of the big three that make it difficult to get hours and therefore earn money. And why is that? Earlier in the video, I alluded to DoorDash having to trick drivers to get orders accepted in the form of these various pilot programs. Programs that frequently claim unverifiable or straight up bullshit rewards for delivering as many bad orders as you can stomach. Without playing these games, DoorDash would have a substantially harder time getting these low or no-tip orders delivered. These programs don't reward us, they benefit DoorDash. Earlier in the video, I gave some statistics about DoorDash. With over 25 million monthly active users, many of which that don't know how to tip very well, DoorDash spends an unholy amount of money refunding or bonusing orders. I want you to take a moment and think about just how much money a fraction of 25 million monthly orders would cost them to refund. It's cheaper for them to lie, cheat, and manipulate drivers. Without tricking and manipulating drivers, many of these orders just wouldn't get delivered. And that is why you can't dash now whenever you want. In my opinion, DoorDash could solve many of their financial problems by just giving drivers a $5 base pay. If you'd like to hear my reasoning behind that, check out this video. So basically, fuck DoorDash. Let your acceptance rate fall. You just might make more money. Cherry pick and multi-app. Earlier in the video, I said I found it alarming that a program that was supposed to end in the summer is still to this day being rolled out to new markets. In the video I made about the high pay order program, I talked about the estimated amount of time that they anticipated the program running. I said months ago, and I quote, "I guess they want to see how many drivers are willing to fall for Top Dasher 2.0. It seems to me, unfortunately, too many. This program wouldn't have continued past July if they weren't seeing a tremendous amount of success. And that is what I find alarming. There are many people on YouTube, myself included, that try to cut through DoorDash's bullshit and educate drivers about what you are or are not getting. The fact that you're sitting here watching one of my YouTube videos tells me you're not a driver who's gonna fall for shit like this. However, the driver standing next to you waiting for their order in a restaurant might. Get to know the drivers in your market and take the time to educate them. If it weren't for my friend and fellow driver in my market, Pam, I would have been none the wiser that I was getting walked on when I was a new driver. It's because of her that I now share my knowledge with you. Well, that is going to about wrap up the video. If you haven't done so yet, please do consider pressing the like and subscribe buttons so you never miss news, tips, tricks, and ride-alongs with a healthy dose of humor. My name is Zach. Take care.